Day 60. Day 60. Day 63. Day 63. Oh, your boy's on fire today. Your boy's on fire. This is not a good place to be if you're other people. Not a good place to be other people. There we go. That was in the background. We got a lot to talk about. Every day's a lot to talk about. Let me turn down this music so I can actually think for a bit. All right, I made the executive decision. The epic time is upon us. What is upon us? We got a lot going on in the news. We got a lot with the vibe coding. We got a lot with the thinking, a lot with the brainstorming. And guess what we did yesterday? We scrapped weeks of a build. It was too much. I couldn't actually do what I wanted to do. And I thought about it, and I went online and I noticed that every person that is actually vibe coding is vibe coding in ADE. Every person. There's no one doing desktop apps. There's no one doing regular apps. No one's doing a fitness app. No one's doing a clipping software. Everyone is doing an ADE. So what is the difference? What is the difference, Charles? Why is yours going to be different? Why are you going to be different than all of the ones that are even open sourced? This, my friends, is why. We are going to get to a point, and I'll draw it out, I'll spell it out, I'll bring all the energy because we got a lot going on in the news. If you're watching anything but what's going on a higher level, then you're screwed. You're paying attention to sports, you're betting on sports, you're watching nonsense, you're going on X, you're caring about the drama, you're caring about stuff that you're not even going to worry about next week. But there is so much. Citadel talking about Morningstar, talking about Fed rates, talking about interest rates, talking about housing rates, talking about the housing properties. You're talking about Disney going down. You're talking about less people going to Europe, less people traveling in general. You're talking about Stripe that wants to buy OpenRouter, wants to buy PayPal for $50-something billion. Would you even get the cash? Cursor's now part of XAI. There is so much going on right now. It's wild. It is wild. Turn it down to where I can actually think. We'll turn it up so you guys can actually hear it. Tell me if that's a little too much, a little too easy. This is what we did last night. I went in, I had a heart-to-heart, and I said, Fabes. That's what I'm calling it. Fabes is not a man anymore. Fabes is a woman. Fabes. I built an IDE. You are just burn through 1 hour. I'm sorry, one full context, 100%. Burn through it within 45 minutes after I vibe coded and shut this thing off. I then went to my second account, burned right through that, and I said, we gotta have a, as I can't even put my elbow on this stupid table. We gotta have a heart-to-heart. Do we have to scrap this whole thing because this is what I want to do? Came back and said, yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. And we went and spent over 1 million tokens. Over 1 million tokens just on research. And this is the proof. This is the proof. This is this morning when I said, what are we going to be doing? What are we synthesizing? And it said, we are looking at what Max has done because he's a great example of a great IDE. What has he done? Because that's a good example. It's a good foundation. Did Google go in and say, oh, okay, the iPhone is a mere trend? Or did Google say, actually, that's a brilliant idea. We don't even need a keyboard. Let's build the Pixel. And now the Pixel took from what Apple did and then took it to the moon. I said, this guy Max, he's onto something. He's onto something. 1 million tokens, went in, and I said, all right, well, let's start that vibe coding right now. We just got to release. Just got to release. This is the thing. I got to build it for what I can see, and that's on Mac. The first wave, this is what, so last night, it's going through wave number 1. Wave number 1. I am now at 98. We're not doing 94, 95, 96, 98. Wave number 1. So essentially, this is the way that I'm coding right now. And I'll actually spell it out because there's going to be a little, and these are the artifacts, by the way, or the assets, I should say, that I want to put into the road cycling indoor trainer. Look at those kits, baby. Look at those kits. Boatenston Racing right here. Put Boatenston Racing across it. This is what I'm going to do. First of all, let's check out the feed. Let's check out the feed. Mark Miller, 7 minutes ago. He's dropping the wood. This is getting repetitive. By the way, oh, that's stupid. I got to sign in, Mark. I'll give you a love, though. There we go. Bright and early. I was up at 4:59, out of the door. Big news, long-awaited IDE, known as Fate GUI. First desktop workbench for the real. The pies of the sky. Fork it, boys. Fork it. Whoa. Look at that. So this is what I envision. Before I go into that, this is what I envision. Is I go in here. This is all going to be on the IDE. I was just testing this out yesterday. Okay, so we upgraded this a little bit yesterday. Let's go into a new one. Let's go into a new one. A new freehand. All right, so this is what I'm doing. We are. Oh, I didn't even test it yesterday, so it's probably going to be poo. It is poo. Ah, all right. We'll call this version 1. And I talked about this a couple of times. You got 6 waves. And this repeats. You should be able to copy this. Duplicate. All right. That should duplicate. There we go. Version 2, version 3, and you have it where you essentially keep on going. You also have an area where you call the bullpen. And you bring in the AI models specific to whatever you're building. And the bullpen are called in. They're called in. They're kind of just sitting there. It's the same thing with the way that the harsh critic, we're not even going to call it anything, we're calling it a critic. The harsh critic is then pulled in as well. And essentially, you go wave to wave with a score of 98, of a score to 98, and you keep on looping back and forth until you get to version 4. Version 4 is going to be the best way to put this out. However, follow me on what is different. Ready? This is all within the IDE, ADE, whatever you want to call it. But here we go. This is where we differentiate ourselves. What is this, Charles? This is Boatenston.com. This is Boatenston.com. Boatenston.com is going to have a place where you can go in and you can essentially order up your own agents based on whatever you want to do. I want to build a website? Perfect. It will be able to plug and play and potentially auction it off, essentially what we were doing in the beginning. Trust me, because I have 5 usage resets. Let's go. It is an infinite loop that I tried and I started this morning with what I want to build now. It went, Orbit is live and building itself. So after I went through a big ass prompt, I don't curse, I then went into, okay, Charles, we did 1 million tokens. I said, thank you for that 1 million tokens, came back, gave me exactly what it wanted to build, and then it started to build. After I said, build wave 1, 0.01 is now executing. 0.02 then starts to execute once we hit 98. Right here, wave 1 is cleared and committed. I don't care how long this takes. That is the difference. This is the snapshot of what I want to build in the future, where you pull on whatever agent is best for the situation. You are only going through loops and orchestration until the job is done. And you are in a remote environment that you can pull up at any time to see the progress on your cell phone, on your desktop, or any other place. And essentially, this then will connect publicly to the internet to then give people the excitement, oh crap, this guy can build something. Like, you have the people that are like, okay, I design websites locally for my random city in the middle of America. I'm going to use Charles's product to build all of the websites. They don't know about this, but I'm going to use it to build all these websites. I'm going to bring in all of the agents recommended by whoever the orchestrator is. Actually, we recommend this. You then bring in those subscriptions. And to be honest, I might not even go with the subscription model anymore. I might just do $250 forever lifetime and then just go from there. There's multiple reasons behind that, because I want to get to a point where we are shipping apps, we're shipping games, we're shipping environments that you can walk around in. We're just shipping. We're just creating. But the foundation is, this has to be the foundation, is trying it right now on a local device instead of what will soon be, look at that, committed 3,400 lines of code on wave 1. Wave 2 is going to go maybe 3,400, 3,500. Yeah, that was 4 years ago. He also is Mark Zuckerberg. This is the future. The problem is the technology here? I have no idea. It's kind of like when Google came out with Glass, and I saw these guys walking around downtown Manhattan that worked at Google. I said, this is stupid. No one's going to do this, because it was just a box. And to be honest, it was really futuristic, because it was just the thing that wrapped around your head, and then it had a little square crystal box right here. That was until your boy actually tried it on at an event. I was invited to an event. I tried it on. I go, oh crap, this is the future. This is the future. You can then say, hey, Google, Siri, Meta, whatever, take a picture of this product. Can you find this less expensive anywhere else online? Hey, Meta, I actually just designed a blah, blah, blah. Or I'm thinking of buying this bike. That's going to be connected to your phone now, but you got to wait until it's connected directly to the internet. Tablets are now connected to the internet. At one time, it was just Wi-Fi. This is the future. You essentially have agentic until the job is done. The models will catch up. Clearly, when Boris is talking about overnight agents and overnight looping and 20 to 24 hours of the same project going back, he clearly has access to what we'll have access to in the future. We have to build for it. Where does this go, by the way? Yeah, it was Google Glass, by the way. Google Glass. And there's a photo on my Instagram from 2013, 2012 of me wearing them. It's on my Instagram. Where does this go, by the way? This will be in every single And I do want to get into this because this is an area that I need to learn how to use assets for remote environments. Do you understand remote environments is going to be everything as well? Like, people can go to other live streams. Fantastic. I'm piecing the future together right now. What are remote environments? Right now, you go in, it's called the intra because it's internal. So it's intra-web. I worked at these, every company has it, obviously, intra-web. You go in there, you have the documents, you have procedures, you have meetings, you have protocol, you have everything. Even if you have a subscription. I have a subscription to this place right here where I have my office. Okay, it's not even an office, that's why I'm vibe coding for the office. But what we have to get ready for is pitching this massive company. It's called CBRE. It's the largest commercial real estate firm in the United States. They're worth billions of dollars, tens of billions of dollars. It's a boys club. You can't get involved. And go to them. You go to them on your cell phone and you go, you have a crappy internal system. You're using Salesforce. I know they use Salesforce because I saw they use Salesforce. I also went to, where was I? And I was, REI, recreational, blah, 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 the sporting goods store. REI uses Salesforce. The thing sucks. It sucks. What you want to be able to do is go to REI, go to this place, CBRE, worth tens of billions of dollars, and be like, I could build an internal environment where they could walk around. They have the store, the app store, the protocols. You can have virtual meetings. This is what Mark wanted to build with this. Mark wanted to build it with the metaverse, okay? People will not adopt this. That's a little ways out. Okay, they're not going to fully incorporate their face. They might just incorporate just their glasses. But from your phone, you now can build a looping, say like, hey, CBRE, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go into Orbit. I'm going to type in, what do you want? You want spaces, you want meeting spaces, you want daily users, you want contracts, you want it all to be living on someone's website. Okay, fantastic. What else? You press send. Orbit then goes, oh, okay, actually back end, OpenAI. Front end, Kimi K. Orchestrator, Fable. Wiring, we'll use Qwen. Research, Grok. Testing, Qwen. I don't care. That is the future. Your cell phone, you know what? I'll give you an MVP to buy tomorrow. Let's meet tomorrow. I'll show you around. That is the future. That's the future. To be able to give them a minimal viable product within 24 hours and say, all of this was done. Yes, you have to test it. You need security. All of that. I understand. It's called you got to physically see something before you could start adding pictures and photos and paintings and stuff. You don't start building elevators. You don't build the HVAC unit on the roof when you don't even have a foundation. This is the future, and I'm testing it right now, which is from the ground up. Can I, through this live stream, see I haven't touched anything? I'm going to see how far it goes. It's up to wave 2. You essentially have waves within a version. Okay? And it literally says in wave 2 at the top, I haven't touched anything. I said, don't ask me for anything. It literally says, here we go. It literally says right here, this is what it is. This is the future. This is the future. Okay? They are continuing the wave. They're continuing the wave right here without checking in. Without checking in. Charles, it's, you know, you're living at 2020. Okay, fantastic. But what I'm building for is the robo-taxi, so I'm buying Teslas to then have a fleet of robo-taxis. You know what I'm saying? Charles, you're totally living in 2020. Tesla's been out. Yeah, it's been out, but they haven't had the technology to have a robo-taxi where your 5 Teslas are now out on the road making you all this money while you're at home. That's where we're getting to. There's 2 areas I'm very bullish on. Number 1 is remote environments that is a community that people plug into. People love to be a part of another world that is different than what anyone else has access to. That's really what it comes down to. Don't worry about boomers. Don't worry about boomers. Boomers are never going to get this. My brother's never going to get this. My cousins are never going to get this. That's not who you're pitching. You're pitching the person who goes to Tony Robbins. You're pitching the person who reads a book. You're pitching the person who goes to a gym. You're pitching a person who cares about their fashion. Yeah, that was the metaverse. I know people who spent a lot of money buying up real estate in the metaverse. The thing is that the metaverse is going to be, every company is going to have a metaverse. Every community is going to have a metaverse. Okay, that's the problem with Google, or I'm sorry, Meta coming out with the glasses, the Oculus. Apple scrapped their glasses, Vision Pro. They're no longer doing it. The reason being is there's only 2 environments you can go into. You can only go into Apple's environment, and you can only go into Meta's environment. Google, I don't think, has an environment. NVIDIA, Oracle, Cisco, IBM, Anthropic, OpenAI. Oh, here we go. We got something. It's stuck. When you only can go to 2 websites, the internet is not a thing. That's it. When there's only 2 people on a social media, it's not a thing. This is probably one of the most important live streams, because there you go. First round 0, it says it right there. Round 0 right here. Right here, let's blow it up. Round 0, 90. Round 0, regressed. Round 1, 95. We're not doing 95 anymore. That's too small. What I'm saying is, when you now have the NBA, the NHL, Boatenstein.com, why is this a thing? The place that you work out at, when everyone has a metaverse, now you'll buy the glasses. Because now you're going to different websites, different metaverses. It was too early. Glasses were too early. Metaverse was too early. Now that we have this, and to be honest, I think this is why the hardware companies know it's necessary to have open source. The software companies, even OpenAI and Anthropic, know it is necessary to have open source. That's why and while I was on the treadmill yesterday, why is this a thing? Good day, fantastic day here, Charles. All right, I do want to get into this because I want to learn the best way. Let's get out of here. By the way, everyone wants a ADE. Go into the Boatenstein. And this is what I want to get into. I want to know how I could build through Image Gen 2 and use those assets to then build I wrote it right here, a Sims-style game where it's now Boatenstein. Because the IDE right now on the left side, this is the one that's getting squashed. The IDE on the left side is going to be my email, my apps, the world in which we're creating, maybe games. This is going to be obviously coding. You can also design, you can have everything that's within Boatenstein.com. Now that is also going to be the app. People want to be a part of something. That's what it comes down to. They want to be a part of something. So I have to learn how to create through the assets, because the assets were built. Great jerseys, fantastic jerseys, very realistic. Love the bikes. Personally, I'd probably go with this guy on the right. That's a time trial, aero bars, climbing. And then this guy's probably just a graveler. You know, just do a regular roadie. How sick would this be? You're now building environments for your friends, your family, your company. You go to Chipotle. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. We are on a mission right now to find the best way to actually integrate any assets that we build out from the framework of having Fable as the prompt engineer that sends their prompt to OpenAI's Image Gen 2 using our Open Router. They came out with this assets gallery, which is actually going to be used within our Ride app. Spin up a Haiku and or Sonnet agent. Get out of here. Who's calling me? Do not disturb. Do not disturb. Get that out of here. Embarrassing. Let's get the music back on. The music's probably up. Am I frozen? There we go. All right, we're back up. Spin up a Haiku and or Sonnet agent. I need the best way to be able to make a Three.js world based on the assets in which the Image Gen 2 creates their assets. In other words, what is the best prompt that Fable can use to make sure the images, the assets are easily pulled in to the Three.js world from the Image Gen 2 assets page that is created. Above is an example of the Ride app that we've built that rivals indoor training, bike riding on their own kicker. Is the above a good assets page? If not, tell me what needs to be different to make sure that the world in which is created uses the assets in which we create from Image Gen 2. All right, so this is a learning experience. However, the learning experience to me is how do we break things? How do we push this? How do we create on the side? My whole vision is on the side. I'm building out someone's website, just in the background, just motoring, checking in. Maybe there's even the person is in the background live testing it. All right, what else did I want? There were so many things that I wanted to do. Okay, so this was, I also went in and I said, if we had a crazy world, which we do, if we have a completely weird world, what is the 12 to 20 hour automation runs, 4 loops, tons of workers, 15, 20 workers, I could care less, millions of workers. You have companies. That's what everyone wants to build. They want to build a company of workers. That's when you get, I don't think we're there yet. I don't think the models are there yet. Unless you just have orchestrators on each of the areas. You have a design orchestrator who calls upon, that might be a little too much. That they might hallucinate at that point, but I think that's going to be the first billion or $1 trillion company. My opinion, the first single founder of a $1 billion, $1 trillion company, and the entire company's AI models is based on an orchestrator in charge of each of the departments. And they essentially have weekly meetings, checking up on each other. The IT is fielding any requests, support. So it said the front end is Kimi K, the back end is Claude, the wiring is Sonnet 5, the research or Recon is Grok. I love this so far. Architecture is DeepSeek. The adversary, I don't agree with Qwen 3 though. I don't know if I agree with that. Security, GLM5. This is what I mean, is you have an intake. The intake is Fable or whatever, I could care less. You could insert X. It then divvies it out based on whatever models are best. This is why when people say, I only use, which was me a month ago, that's an ignorant statement. I've completely humbled myself and said, there is no one model. There is no one subscription. That's why people poo-poo Perplexity. Perplexity's got its place. It's not a model, but Perplexity has its place. Who's to say you don't go to Perplexity and now you have every single, it's tailored to, say you're a major institution for law. Who's to say it doesn't do anything but come up with news about yesterday's law? You're in healthcare. Healthcare, new studies. This was published in Nature. This was published in Science. Whatever the peer-reviewed nonsensical stuff. They recommended this one. They recommended the Tribunal. I think this was their recommendation, I think. My pick, number 2. Yeah. This changes, but I want to plug and play. I want to plug and play. Is it going to be boring? Yeah. Zuck created it. He put in $80 in it and flopped out. Fantastic, Jay. I see you. Why is this thing? All right, so it is figuring out how to create my own remote environments. I need to learn this. I understand this is completely all about the self, but if I can get a bike kicker to Bluetooth in, and by the way, I'm gonna go down the Apple development route. I am. I'm gonna pay for the developer account. I can't be shipping trash. I need to make money. You get and get on your knees, boys, and pray that the deal goes through, so then your boy can continuously go live without being paid at all. And I have nothing to ship right now because I just scrapped the entire last one. Okay, verdict. Gallery's a good UI shell, but not Three.js ready. I had an agent review the assets, okay. Key finding, 6 concrete defects with receipts. Skyboxes aren't true. No native alpha. Tileability is unverified, no generation. Okay, so this is, Fable isn't in the loop yet. Was it Opus then? 4 distinct prompt templates for Fable. 1 Three.js consumption pattern. So this, my friends, is above my pay grade. And it's above most people's pay grade. I don't care though. Whatever satisfies the desire of what the objective is first principles. That's the problem with the internet. If you don't use first principles, you're never going to humble yourself and say, actually, what I built was a local IDE that is connecting my own subscriptions, lives on my own computer, even though I downloaded it from my Mac Studio. Charles, you got to humble yourself and say, there's no VPS, people cannot connect their own, and it's not built natively for Apple on their hardware. Who cares whatever else you're going to build on top of it? Based on everything that you just mentioned, what I want to do is have a prompt that I include into Fable that will actually be more of a generic prompt that's specific to Fable using OpenAI through OpenRouter, Image Gen 2, OpenAI, Image Gen 2. They're going to create the assets that I can then pull into a Three.js environment. So the assets have to be satisfactory to the Three.js environment so we do not waste any money creating any of the OpenAI Image Gen 2 assets. Do you recommend a different framework than Fable to OpenAI Image Gen 2 into a Three.js environment that is created by you? The OpenAI will also bring to a interface the actual assets so I could view them on a 2D screen. Tell me where I'm wrong and how do we build upon this so we can build out environments. Very important that this is done correctly with potential Haiku deep researching agents going out to come back with the best way to build out virtual environments that other people can also be plugged into. This is not just a single player or a single environment. This is a multiplayer, multi-environment. Big question. Why are you building everything from the ground up if you can integrate reliable engine to run your whole thing? What would that be? What would the engine be? The ground up ADE is only so I can, was that the reply already? Am I using Fable? Oh, okay. The reason being is I could use Chrome, but Apple uses Safari. I could use, Tari, but Mac prefers Swift. If there is a better environment in which people can plug into, I'll use it. But I need to be able to, and it's gonna sound very selfish, but the beginning MVP is gonna be based on the objective from first principles rather than what someone else built it on Linux, Windows, or Mac with a different objective. Someone else's objective could say, you know what, I wanna make sure that this is put on Git, lots of stars, lots of forks, and that was their objective. I want to be objective first and then reverse engineer it from the ground up. That's the way that I see first principles. Rather than taking someone else, well, hold on one second. I have so many thoughts. Where are you going first? I'll send out agents to nail it down. Where are you going wrong? Fable to Image Gen to Three.js is the wrong framework. Perfect, okay. Single generic prompt, then generate flow works for one-off gallery, but breaks the moment you want. Reuse across environments. Multiplayer, Three.js deterministic, don't waste money. Fable as a prompt engineer is fine as the authoring layer, but it cannot be the quality gate. You need programmatic verification between generation and acceptance. Now let me get you the real answer. Whether there is better asset authoring framework, that's fine. I personally like Image Gen 2 better than Nano Banana. Nano Banana, as you can see from this was Nano Banana. Nano Banana, it was obviously Gemini 3 Pro, maybe not Nano Banana, but look at the difference. That is monumental. This is like cool to be in. This is like, wow. That is a significant difference. Let's see where we're at. All right, Wave 2 is cleared and committed. Wave 3 is running. Where Orbit stands, Wave 2, 30 agents, 2.7 million tokens. But got capped by two things, the cross-contract contamination. One genuine crash was that the mutation tested for the WS servers. What Orbit can now do, WebSocket server, speaking at full spec version, a real code adapter. process environments baked into the engine. Critics now attribute foreign path failures instead of capping it. Wave 3, 3 Sonic contracts. So that's the best way to say it, is everyone you bring onto a job site has a contract from a contractor or a subcontractor, and the subcontractor can even bring in their own contractors. And that's the way that I look at it, is we have a very deep website that we want to build. Honestly, the number one thing, once this is all said and done, probably by next week, is to build a Salesforce CRM that talks to a front-end real estate website. It sounds super easy, but it's really complicated. There's a lot going on. There's transactions, there's homes, there's contracts with agents, there's clients, there are leads, there are intake of leads, there's websites, there's a front-end design that talks to a back-end, there's the database, there are notifications, there's automation, there are emails. It literally covers every gamut. Every gamut. All right, so now deep research. Wow, it really came back. This is where I learned. Practical architecture recommendation for Botenstein Wright AI-generated assets registry. Colossus, PlayCanvas, and Mozilla. The reason being, I'm saying this now. Once you build an asset library or an environment, you can use that environment elsewhere. Or you can now replicate that environment to someone else. So all you're doing is just copying the code and putting it over there and customizing it. It's known as a template. So you spend all the money up front, you spend all the time up front, and then on the back end, you're essentially just replicating it for what people want. Maybe Nike wants a run club and you can go in and Nike has an in-person store. People don't want to be on social media anymore. Social media, it's cool and everything else. We need to move beyond that. We need to go to environments. It's the long-term think. Zuck was right. Apple was right. We're too early for it now. We got people in the streets. Okay, I know this is boring, but programmatic, I'm never gonna get that on the first shot. Texture asset validation, AI generated 3D world, seamless tileable validation, equi-rectangular skybox validation. Like, who is going to their real estate APIs are giga expensive? Yeah. Go to realestatemasters.com or realmasters.com. I spent 10 grand up front for a custom website, and I think $500 to $700 per month. One person. Real estate has so much money. Healthcare has so much money. Betting, which we do not condone, too much money. I disagree with that. Okay. I think the two things that we build is, now that I'm thinking about it, knowing that imagine being able to pitch someone and say, hey, listen, instead of a website, you get a website and an environment. You know? I'm not going to be a game player. I understand people are one-shotting games and they're doing Halo and they're doing all that. I'm not. Will I do it? Potentially. I don't know. I'm just not a game player. I saw that and I go, that would be cool if you now have that as, you essentially have that for Clue. You have that for scavenger hunt. You have that for test taking. You go around an environment and now you have to use clues to go to the next area. It's like real world or whatever it was, that thing, Amazing Race. It's like Amazing Race. It's infinite. It's fun. We're allowed to have fun today. Let's have fun. Shall we have fun today? I'm not touching this guy on the left. This guy is just gonna run, blow through all my tokens. Okay, so here's the conclusion. Skyboxes AI to 8K? Holy cow. I don't know about that. $20 a month, tileable features, tileable. Confirmed by research. Fable to OpenAI, generic prompt is the wrong shape. All right. Image Gen 2 is structurally the wrong tool. All right. The actual architectural gap. You asked for a prompt, but multiplayer needs an asset registry. 100% agree. World manifest. 100% agree. Concrete build order registry plus manifest first. This is the actual foundation. Nothing else matters if the assets aren't deterministically across clients. Per asset. Write the generation spec for the... In 2 sentences, give me the answer to this. Number 1 is... Well, actually, there's going to be a couple of questions. You know what? Let's erase this. Yay, fun. Yeah, literally, I think the future is going to be... Well, let me just do this. There's going to be a couple of questions, and need be, spin up a Haiku agent to come back to answer it properly. Number 1 is, I want to reuse the environments or the assets or the registry or the asset library for future clients, for future builds, for future worlds, for future things that we're actually going to be creating. So this is the foundation. All right, I just got to stop here. What if I build something that then I can license out? What if I build something that is so cool that they can buy that code base for their environment and then they fork it? There's too much short-term thinking. I was going to say the PO word, but it bothers me. Charles, look at this one shot. Fable 5. Oh, Opus did this in one shot. Look at this tweet, bro. The benchmark of Kimi K3 is #1 by Arena. It's so short-term thinking. That's why Meta's in the game and making their own glasses. In the beginning, they relied on Oakley. They relied on Ray-Bans, and now they're making their own glasses. I'm relying on a lot. Who's to say I'm now not making worlds for other people? Like, the future should be a front end, a back end, and a world. Across any device, including your own app. $99 a year. That's it. How cool would that be? I go to this restaurant. I go to these cleaners. You walk into the cleaners. Maybe you build a world for your town. The cleaners has a world. The restaurant has a world. Too short-term thinking. You know? And there's people calling out some vibe coders out there. It's kind of funny to see. Obviously, I get 50 views, so I'm not getting called out. But there's going to be a hockey stick moment. There's going to be a holy crap moment with the S word that you go, okay, we made it, boys. All right, gosh, that's the problem with my brain. So it's using Trippo, that you got to pay for that. Image Gen, that's fine. Skybox, you got to pay for. So that was part of it. Let me just reread it, and I got to get back into the zone. Going to be a couple of questions. Need to spin up a haiku agent to come back and answer it properly. By the way, number one, just a side note, Opus 5 is a token burner. Token burner. Barn burner. Yesterday was very aggravating. I maxed out twice and almost went through the entire week usage in one day. It was like, I'm up to 73% in one day. Really bothered me. Really bothered me. I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm stuck. Stuck in purgatory. I'm not gonna get a third one. All right. Number one is reuse the environment or the assets, the registry, asset library for future clients, future builds, future worlds, for future things that we're actually gonna be creating. So this is the foundation for long-term thinking. There needs to be a thinking on how we are going to have a continuous library that we are adding to, upgrading as we get better frameworks, better AI models, better graphics, better code, languages, engines, whatever you want. Right now, I would love, if it is possible, to use what is available free, unless that's impossible. But I also want a framework that when someone comes to me and says, I want to build this world, we can easily build it, we can easily reuse it, but most importantly, I go to Fable or I go to whatever AI model, they have the prompt, who then sends it into whatever the asset creating AI model is, who then comes back and says, here are the assets that I created for design. Do you like these? I can then view it on a website. I say yes, and then they are used within the Three.js world. I know I just said a lot, and you just replied with a lot. The best way to do it is a 1 to 2 sentence max per bullet point, along with the solution, along with the next step, and using the Ride app as our test to upgrade all of the assets within that environment. If that was built incorrectly, completely fine to scrap it, to build another one, as this is the training grounds to bring us to $1 billion. Charles, this isn't fun. It is for me. It is for me. And I'm sitting in the background and I got all of these news stories to talk about. I'm literally looking at every, telling you right now, boys. This guy is way over his head right now. Way over his head right now. And that has nothing to do with right and left. It has everything to do with the next 10 years for the United States. Because this guy right here, he's locked in. He's beholden. Well, I won't get into it. We'll just close it out before Charles gets sidetracked. All right. I was in a conversation with someone who's getting mad about politics. I was like, I just got to leave this. You are so low IQ. It's just low IQ to be in a political conversation. I can't believe this guy, this political party, and this, dude. What? Just go to your job where you are told what to do, to then clock in, to then clock out. You can say whatever I've had my disagreements with what Sam Altman has done, what he said. Some people have said, and split with him over moral issues. I have no idea what those are. I think Elon said something moral issues, allegedly, in my opinion. But what that interview went into is that you literally have to create memories based on doing something that is wild. And I don't mean stupid wild, but it means going in, breaking the mold where you need, okay, let's just send this out before you go on a rampage. If the build is incorrectly strapped, build another one that is. I do not want a long-winded answer. I just want 1 to 2 sentences for everything I just said and anything above that I did not actually bring into the conversation. Okay, I also want to upgrade this website. Oh, by the way, Amazon data centers in Bahrain. I was listening to, by the way, it's just like every story I click on is I have so much to say about it. I might just make a video every day about AI news and just do vibe coding for vibe coding and AI news that's just one-off. So it kind of just, people know what all of this means. China doesn't need $75 billion. AI just got SoftBank to do 21 institutional investors, $50 billion. How many billions of dollars has Anthropic risen? XA, they need $3.5 billion out of $35 billion. Do you think they're at short-term thinking right now? And by the way, they're planning an initial public offering in Hong Kong. Hong Kong. What did the United States do about that? Such short-term thinking. This made news, by the way. This made news. Apple is going into streaming devices streaming and smart home devices. I'm not saying anything about Apple, but America's got to get its head on straight. Got to get its head on straight. These big boys are going to be crushed. Crushed. I don't want to interrupt it. Okay, here we go. 1 to 2 sentences. These are the 2 most important things I'm doing this week. Getting the ADE up and running in a VPS. 30 agents. Look at this. 30 agents and 2.7 million tokens. Who's to say this is not the future? The future is, I want X. And by the way, don't worry about the 70-year-olds, okay? My mom, she's elderly. She's in her 80s. She's amazing. Love her. Love her to death. She is on a retirement plan, okay? This isn't like anything but love towards anyone that's elderly. I'm not one of those people that say, okay, boomer. I almost said the F word, but screw you, kid, okay? What are you doing, bro? When was the last time you went to the gym? Those guys piss me off. Okay, boomer. Bro, you live on the internet. You're a loser. You're a 40-year-old loser. Yeah, the boomers messed it up. Oh yeah, what are you doing, bro? You're working at Starbucks. You are a loser. Dude, a girl hasn't looked your way in years. You can't even run a mile under 15 minutes. Okay, boomer. Dude, they can put together a car with their own hands. Like they would have been different. I would have totally stood out if I was a boomer. If I was a 7-year-old growing up in the 60s, 70s when it was free love and Wall Street. Absolute bothers me. The I would have done if I was in situations. Oh, I would have totally punched that guy out. I would have totally defended that woman with a guy that had a knife. If I was grown up in the 60s, 70s, I totally would have been the guy that stood out. No, dude, you would have taken up yoga, drank low-fat milk, and walked around in clothes that don't fit. All right. So much disrespect for the older. All right, anyway. That is a topic that sends me off every time. sends me off. Do you know who their parents were? Do you know who their grandparents were? They were in ditches with rats, sleeping with rats in a mud ditch, who then had kids who were dropped by a parachute into a foreign land, who then had kids. I would have been totally different. My grandfather was in World War I, and then my father was in World War II. And then my uncle was in Vietnam, and my other uncle was in Korea. Let's see the calluses on your hand there, Tom. Dude, you can't even win an arm wrestle with your wife. All right, Charles. All right, intrusive thoughts are just coming out. Those are the PC versions. All right. Answer is 1 to 2. Reusable long. All right. Get those thoughts out of your head. All right. Answer is 1 to 2. Reusable long-term library. Yes, that's what we're doing. Building a vision content. Yes. Upgrading the models. Harnesses. Improve. I forgot the harnesses on the left chat. Tell me you brought it up. I don't want to interrupt it. Oh no. I gotta write that down. I don't want to interrupt it, but I think that was brought up in the original prompt. Yeah, I hope it was brought up in the... Yes. Agentic remote experience in a VPS using harnesses of the AI models to the CL. Okay. All right, I brought it up. Hopefully it uses it. Hopefully it uses it. Free where possible, confirmed. Self-hosting. The question is, where do they live though? Overall next step, set up registry plus the manifest schema. Local comfy instance for free. Okay. Don't even worry about finishing here. Sometimes success is need a noise. Ocean XI, I don't know what that means, but I assume that face is... There's a couple of faces that I would get from girls that I've dated in the past, and then I meet up with them, and I would ask them about the text, and they're like, yeah, that's not what the emoji means. I'm like, oh. Oh. So I guess the last question is, since this is all going to be used within a browser for those who are logged into Botenston.com, and it's going to be on many browsers, we're going to have to host this somewhere. Ideally, our assets, our library, even the world in which all of these are living and people are operating within. In other words, the Three.js environments, the Ride app, are going to need to live probably in a VPS. And it's going to be able to be used within our ADE that we are creating. Do not worry about the ADE as much, but obviously everything has to be pulled in remotely and not from my Mac studio. I also want to go only with quality and not what's easy or convenient. I despise easy and convenient. I like hard, challenging, difficulty, and high quality only. Give me after Haiku or Sonnet research agents based on what I just said and anything that would have changed, the next steps within one sentence, no more than 5 steps, 1 sentence per step. And the last question is, do we have to scrap the ride world in which we created? And where will the assets come from in the future when we're building out additional Three.js worlds and environments? All right, let's go into, do you like this website, by the way? By the way, this is kind of amazing. All 5 spots. And by the way, this isn't by OpenAI, NVIDIA, Meta. This is literal data. Literal data by OpenRouter. Let's see what they are. You got Mimo, very interesting. I don't know how many people use Mimo. DeepSeek, Minimax, Qwen, Moonshot, Skimmy. Excuse me. The platform processes more than 20 trillion tokens per week and accounts for 60% of all traffic. By the way, where is OpenRouter based? Because China's going to come up and buy that, or just create their own. Where's OpenRouter based, and does China have their own? What? It's in New York City. Huh? Where in New York City? Where in New York City? What is the address? $169 Madison. Well, I don't care about the suite. Jeesh. Okay. That's a random spot. Huh. I used to go to this place a lot, 235th. That's where girls that are totally outside of your league when you're 25 to 28 go. That's like a 24-year-old woman who went to Syracuse University, Maryland University, Tulane. Their father makes $700,000 plus. She's never had to worry about going out east to Montauk or the Hamptons ever in their life. Wow. It's got a pool. Dude, OpenRouter is based out of a suite in New York City, doing 80 trillion tokens. 80 trillion tokens a month. And the United States is worried about, see, there you go. I got to give it to Zucks. As much as I want to say whatever, my man out, Sheryl Sandberg came in and I thought she would become the CEO, but she just remained COO. I think she passed away, right? This guy's been around for a while, 2 decades. Started in what, 2004? I don't know about the beginning of it in Harvard. They like to have that. Absolutely disgusting. I hope nobody I know bought into the XAI IPO. Cryptographic algorithms. I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm into my CT, conspiracy theories. I don't know about Mythos, man. I don't know about Mythos. I don't know if it's an actual thing, to be honest. I think it's just an unharnessed fable. That's what I think it is. And they just call it Mythos. This, my friends, is going to sink very closely the United States on a lot of things. The municipality debt, so that's like city debt, college debt by students, which I think 2/3 they just came out with last week are in default. National debt, which obviously we're never going to pay because the amount of interest on the loan is at a point that's impossible to ever pay. And then number 5 is, which wraps it all up, the unsatiable desire of spending, or the unsatiable desire of governments to spend. Let me say that again. The insatiable, I don't know if that's the right word, but I'll go with it. The margin debt jumps 8% in June. The margin debt hits $1.5 trillion. It's never getting paid off. People who are making a lot of money are happy about it. They're happy about it. But the people are mad. So what do you have to do to make sure that these people are satisfied? You give them a little bread and circus. You give them the FIFA World Cup. You give them the Knicks championship. You talk about Q4 earnings. You talk about how, what's his name, OpenAI, Sam Altman says that Microsoft bought into OpenAI, spent X amount of billions of dollars, and Sam Altman goes, the guy pushed back and goes, well, that's kind of a stupid move of Microsoft, and Sam Altman goes, well, when you don't actually have a model, then I think it was actually a very smart move, and we made them a lot of money. All right, Sam, get it, boy. Get it, boy. There you go. Sam Altman now getting pushed back. The world anything, because they just came out with the, they need funding. You know, it's also a scam how the FIFA president with Jared Kushner just started yesterday. Look what they just started yesterday. $20 billion. I don't know what kind of fund it is. We'll just say fund. Oh! That's what I mean, is there's two types of people. This boy's moving. This boy's moving. Again, have not done anything. Complete test dummy. I am the complete test dummy. All right? Memory V1 cleared. Pulling in the defects, then intervening. So wave 3. Wave 3 is now going probably through its testing. Do you understand there's two types of people? There's 3 types of people, and I'll put it into percentages. There's 90% of the people who just wake up, are fine commuting to work, in a car, in a bus, in a taxi, in a subway, on a Metro North, whatever. Commuting. They're told what to do. They believe most everything because they have a wife and a kids. They might go to church. They might attend a softball practice or dance recital on Saturdays for their daughter. They hit their son's soccer game on Sunday. They go to brunch. And then they are told the headline. And they live life. So that's 90%. It used to be 80%. That's Pareto's principle. 80% or 20% yield 80% of the results. That's across the board. Everyone knows that. He did it in bank accounts. I think he did it also within his field, like poppy seeds or whatever. Poppy seeds, Afghanistan, United States going in there. Now we have a opioid epidemic. Nothing connected there. Anyway. Then you go with 8% who know what's going on in the world. They're screaming at the top of their lungs. They're the person who's creating family dinners. They're riffing with their coworkers. They're blowing up company meetings. They're the movers. They unsettle things. The class who go out to Sun Valley do not like those people, because those are the rabble rousers. Those are the people that attend meetings. They bring up weird ideas, crazy ideas. I know we've been doing it like this. Why don't we do it like that? You've been doing it like a square. Let's do it like a hexagon. You've done power lines, but what if we dig a hole and we run it under in the ground? The subway has been above the streets. What if we put it below the streets? And then there's 2%. And that percentage is growing, but those are the movers and shakers who say, we understand the world. I'm not mad about it because they're a bunch of psychopaths. And then we go, let's free the 80%. Let's go. We built the tunnel. We have an aircraft. We have a bus. Let's go to the promised land. Let's go across the border to freedom. That's what we're building. Holy cow, Charles, you were a real estate agent and you built this cool world? I actually have always had an idea that the soccer teams or my community, blah, 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 or all the restaurants have a POS system, point of sale system, that is all integrated and is off the people who hate their idea. Okay, anyway. Do we scrap the current ride? No. Keep it as training grounds, test bed. You already called it. Fantastic. Where will future assets come from? The remote registry always. Fantastic. How do we build the remote registry? Next step, stand up. Okay, stand up. Cloudflare R2. Okay, SQL backend. Existing VPS. I don't have an existing VPS. Okay, last two questions. I promise this is the last two questions. The first one is, how are we actually building that asset library now? First is, what is the AI agent that is prompting? What is the AI model that is going to be building it? Where is it going to be living? What is the model or framework that is going to be using it? And this must be built entirely for multiplayer and not single player by me. Answer all of that in less than 4 sentences, and then let's let it rip with an orchestrator and spinning up as many Sonnet or Haiku agents with contracts specific. Actually, no, let's not add in that. I got asked today. Well, I wouldn't go too deep into it. By someone I know, acquaintance, we're becoming friends. Well, actually, I'll call him a friend. This one I can answer directly. What's confirmed? Okay, who prompts the AI agent? Fable. It authors the structured resolution assets, but never talks to the AI model directly. It writes. So we're using Fable to do this? Okay, no, it's using Trellis, OpenAI, okay. Where it lives, RunPod, validated in Cloudflare. Okay, what consumes it? Runtime framework, Three.js in the client. I didn't know 3 was actually spelled out, I just learned that. Charles, you're so silly. Served by a VPS backend. Okay, why is this multiplayer? Why this is multiplayer native, not single player? Assets are Nothing about this design changes for the questions too that you ask. Go ahead and ask it. I have no more questions. You as the Fable orchestrator, I want you to send out as many sonnet or haiku based on whatever they need to do in their contract, their objectives, specific objectives, to start building this out. I want you to put this on an orchestrating loop with a harsh critic that reviews everything at the end, and it must pass out of 100 a 98. If it does not, it gets looped back to the orchestrator in the beginning, and it continuously loops until all of the waves in version 1 and all of the waves in version 2 are done. We are building for the future. We're building for longevity. We are building for additional parallel worlds, environments in which multiplayers are going to live. This is not short-term thinking. This is only long-term thinking. If you have no other questions of me, then do what's necessary to create this. And then in one sentence at the end of your prompt that you reply with, say exactly how this is happening. And then a second sentence on how I can learn from our conversation. A third sentence on how I could prompt Fable in the future or any AI model in the future. And a fourth sentence is, what are the necessary, exact, specific libraries, frameworks, assets, languages, or anything necessary so there are triggers and inklings that the future AI prompting will know what I am talking about, so we don't waste any money. Version 0.1 is complete and committed. Core spins exist. Its crown jewel guaranteed is proven by Wave 1 is now running. Oh, 0.2. Version 0.2, Wave 1 now running. So version 1, Wave 3 closeout. Memory, which I talked about. Permissions. Harnesses. My boy's got our harnesses. He's got our safety harnesses. Okay. Version 2, Wave 1 has 3 sonic contracts. Like, the future of vibe coding is going to be boring for me when I get this up and running, and now I am literally just having a unbelievably token efficient, fast, intelligent, effective workflow, or framework, not workflow, framework for anything we want to build. Again, still have not touched it. Bro, I'm learning graphic designing now. I want to get experience by doing real clients. Can I design your thumbnails for free? I will get experience. Sam Scar. You could design thumbnails all you'd like. I will preface it that I will not pay you for it. You can use me as a client. But I would recommend this in the future. You latch onto someone that you think through your gut, not through feelings, not through anything but your gut. That's top down. That's not bottom up. That's through your gut. You go, hey, by the way, I already did. I will give you an example. So when I go on a pitch and I'm going to somebody's apartment that is $3.5 million, and I already know they met with agents that have 12 people on the real estate team, they're at a big company and everything else. A good real estate agent would say, by the way, I know you're working or have met with 1, 2, 3, 4 agents. They're all at major firms. You've heard of all the major firms. You've heard of all the agents. They spent $250 million or $250 million. That shows how much I'm into this AI world. 250,000 on mailers. I put together a video. I'm going to do it for free. I'm going to launch it to my social media. You're going to see me in action. I'm going to film it right now. And if you thought this is good, you're going to see a professional video. And by the way, we've actually sold 80% of all of our properties through video, and they know who they're going to work with. Well, that's weird. So there's no like PowerPoint presentation and bragging about how good you are, and we scroll through, and then we debate the price, then we debate your commission, then we debate when we're going to put it on the market, we debate who's actually going to be showing it. Is it you, or is it going to be one of your interns? No, you're going to be working with me. And by the way, I'm a broker owner, which means that at the end, if any questions come up and you need to have something figured out, like $1,000 credit for the buyer, we can do that. You don't need to talk to anyone. I'm the person you talk to. I'm the manager. Proactivity. Charles, I built you thumbnail, and obviously it comes off bad, but Charles, I built your video, last thumbnail, I built it. The best way to do it is you prompt AI and you say, scrap out anything that's not AI coding, scrap out anything personal, anything about non-coding, get the gist of that video, give it to me in 4-sentence prompt for a thumbnail, and then you put it into Image Gen 2, and that's or vidIQ, and it costs you, and then you do that for every single person. I'm not big enough right now, but you do it to every single one. You do it to Bridgemind, you do it to the guy that's in his basement, you do it to another guy who's doing his own IDE. All right, I want to go back to here. So this is the future. So we'll do, we'll add in future, because I do want to fire up. That's for the ride. I do want to do the Sims game. I need to research, this is today, so we're gonna do this today. By the way, do you like this website? I like it. Look at this website. This is the old one, but it's a little too many reading and everything. But I look at it and I go, good start. Good start. I don't know what BOS is. I have no idea what that is. No idea what that is. But Orbit, it's going to be Botenstein.orbit. I think I put that actually in the bottom. Did I put that in the bottom? Yeah. So I should probably switch this over right now. Let's do this right now. As you can see from the above, we have the Foundry Dash download. That is the old app. What I want you to do is move the entire public website that is under to Botenstein.com/orbit. Botenstein.com/orbit is going to be the new page for our ADE. We are building it right now in the background, but I want you to copy over the code and essentially not move, not do temporary or permanent wiring that is 404 or forwarding. I want the code to be under botensten.com/orbit. So when someone goes there, they see what is under the Foundry-download website. The new future is going to be botensten.com/orbit. We could probably do this with Sonnet agents, with Haiku as researchers. Well, we are in Sonnet, but let's go to Opus anyway. Let's go to Opus anyway. All right, build a game. So this was part of the game. And I think I might just scrap all this. I might just scrap all of that. The Sims game, so I'm gonna have botensten.com/whatever, and that is gonna be the environment. And each person who is a user has their own house. You go into their house, they have their own skills on the wall, they have their own what they're building. They can buy certain things, they can create their own things. In other words, having fun. We can have fun. And we walk around this environment, and it maybe has also their workout schedules. It has an area of medals because of races they did. Maybe what they're paying attention to, what they like to do. Maybe the bike that they use. Ooh! Maybe the bike they use for the Ride app, just chilling there. They got their kit on the wall. This was the prompt for I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. The issue is once I get my brain moves so fast in learning, and this is all humble, that I throw everything else away, even though I spent 2 hours of learning about something. I throw it all away because I ask one question of, is this multiplayer? No, I actually didn't even build that for multiplayer. Is this in a VPS? No, I didn't actually build it for a VPS. I didn't actually build it to bring in additional assets, or people can change out their bike or their kit, or they can have different worlds or different rides. I didn't actually build it that it could be on any browser. Then I got to throw it all away. The original idea stands. Like, this is today. This is today. I need to look up the best way that agents are not on work trees. They have unlimited context. Here, let me actually write that down. Unlimited context. They are no bloat. Call upon any AI models needed for that specific contract objective. Like, I went thinking. Everyone talks about AGI. Well, if AGI is the perpetual learning and or calling upon something, you know, obviously there's many different definitions. The way that I look at it is reasoning. Not logic, because logic is different. Logic is the best way to do this is this. Reasoning is I built it for this, but in the past he's wanted multiplayer for everything. I think we should actually build this multiplayer, and if anything, I can regress to single player. That's reasoning. Logic is this is what the person wants. What is the best logical? It's first principles. Both of them used to be taught forever. Now it's not. Schooling used to be, the issue that I have with this chat, to be honest, right here on the right side, is it still has not given me how to do additional, like I don't want it to blow through tokens and completely flop, because Fable is the one drawing up all the assets. That's the only problem that okay, here we go. Okay, so here's the report. The other workers are now untracked again. The other workers' files are now untracked again in the working tree. See, I don't want working trees anymore. Working trees is last year. That's the uncool table. I want every chat to know what every chat is doing. A perpetual memory system. Unlimited context. No bloat. In other words, I don't want, also for Orbit is easily switch between AI model subscriptions before they hit session or weekly usage limits. This is what it is. This is what I said yesterday when I'm walking around New York City. Yesterday I was coming back. I don't know where the hell I was. Where'd I go yesterday? I'm walking up the stairs, and it's freeing, honestly, to be me. And that's not to be anything but humble when you actually understand that you are not in control of anything in the entire world except how you think and your decisions, how you operate in the world, how you decide to deal with things, how you have conversations. I'll give you an example. A very close person in my life was wrong about how they were interpreting what I was saying. But instead of saying, no, I'm right and you're wrong, I just said, oh, okay. Like, what's the point? What, like, in an hour, are we gonna be still arguing? Are we gonna be, mad at each other? I go, okay, that person, I understand, is very stubborn, and it's hard for that person to get off the train tracks if they're already on the train tracks. So I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right. Like, that, your ego is everyone's ego in this world is so big. You are nothing. You're a piece of dust with a soul created for a finite amount of time in this realm, and you are gone, and no one's gonna remember you. All of your memories, all of your possessions, all of your conversations, all of your worries, all of your thoughts. It's like Paul Sagan. What's Sagan's first name? Pale blue dot. It's such short-term thinking to build, like, that's why I was against getting on X, but I kind of wanted something that had the continuation of the product. And that's why I honestly go live on, it makes no sense for me to go live. I actually lose money. I lose my energy. I lose my mind. It's a therapy, yes, but I lose money. Because if you're not making money, you're losing money. The thing is, in 1 year, when I'm up to my own office, I'm able to stand instead of sit. When I have a boom mic instead of a rechargeable mic with literally a camera that is in a glass because my stand broke for my Osmo Pocket 3, my magnet screen that is portable broke, so I have a janky setup. It's like I've been here before. I've been here before. And as Gary Vaynerchuk says, document it. I could see in the future where I go on a crazy rant And out of context, some some guy who hasn't had a touch of a woman he's desired in his life cuts it out, puts it on X, and I go viral for the wrong reason. Or you could be like that guy in California who's a 16-year-old lifeguard who literally rescues a 10-year-old against grown men who also almost needed survival because these flabby men were like, oh, I can get it. And then they got caught in the sand in a riptide who have never swam in their life in Laguna Beach, 10-foot waves, riptide. Two currents coming together and literally going out to a break, who then comes back in and is a literal riptide. From the wide angle, you could literally see where normal waves go, and then the riptide. That's why you need to swim. I did 2,000 yards in the pool today. You gotta be able to know how to swim. You gotta be able to know how to run. Gotta be able to know how to run. Escape something. Gotta have a healthy heart. I don't know where I'm going with this. Bicarbonate, yes. Sodium bicarbonate is amazing. You know what's also amazing? There's two things that everybody should know about. There was a study done, I think after, was it World War I, World War II, about protein. I think most people have heard about it. They gave men who were injured in war protein, meat. Obviously, there was no protein powder in World War. They just probably shot a cow, threw it on a fire, and then just gave it to them. Healthy cow, nice German cow, strong ox. Grazing in the pasture, just boom. Took a M4. All right, Charles. Anyway, so they gave half of the men, they were all injured in war. Half of them got animal protein, half of them did not. And they recovered. Well, Charles, it's different injuries. Shut up. Shut up. Obviously, you can't have a 50% who had the meat protein had their wounds healed faster by whatever amount of time. That's why they tell you to go on plant protein instead of animal protein. Number two is fasting. I think that it allegedly, my opinion, not investment advice, not medical advice. Number two is fasting can kill cancer. You can't make any money from fasting. Actually, it's free. There's many stories of people that go in the middle of nowhere and they go directly on a water-only fast. And I don't believe in any plant medicine. I don't believe in that. But I do believe in water fasting. Number three is that Arm & Hammer, obviously they came out with, wow, this guy's really cooking right here. He's doing the waves, baby. Talk about waves. See, 98. I might go to 99. You got to do that. Well, 99's enough. Like, nothing's going to be perfect. And to be honest, at that point, it's just going to start failing. Apple cider vinegar. You could go, what is it? Peroxide for your teeth. 3% peroxide for your teeth to whiten them naturally. I also don't know, this is, I don't want to go down too many rabbit holes, but I don't know if toothpaste was actually invented and it does absolutely nothing. I don't know. I could get on that train with enough time on my hands. You just do coconut pulling, or you do Coal. All right, so now is the public website. No, I don't want it. I did not say to put it under apps. I did not do. No. No. This, obviously, okay. You know what, let's just do it nice and easy. Okay, I gotta hit the boys' room. I'll be back for another 30 seconds at the end. And I'll go into the news, because it's way too much news to not. Needs to become... Oh my gosh, I really... Okay, I'll be back in 30 seconds. Send that out. And then... All right, so this is why I go to the bathroom. A is going back to that 1 gallon a day comment. Once you start doing that, you'll notice a lot of things. Number 1, you're not as hungry. Number 2, you sleep better. Number 3, your pee doesn't smell. Number 4, you don't smell. Number 5, you actually want to eat better. Number 6 is you have more energy. Number 7 is that you actually feel better. There's obviously things that I don't like to hear, the word like and the word feel, because most feelings are just a temporary situation that you turn into a problem. But when you actually can have whatever amount of hours I've been live streaming, and the only thing I've had this morning was 2 protein things, whatever the heck it is for bone and skin, because I ran out of protein. I came out of the pool. All right, this is why I went to the bathroom. This is an absolute brilliant thing. Look at what I'm about to do. So why am I doing it custom? Obviously, Chrome I was using in the old IDE, but from the ground up, I want to build this to be completely customized around the objectives. Why? This is why. I was thinking about it. I got a friend who wants a $1,500, I'll give you $1,500 for a website with a backend, a CRM. It goes into Resend, and I also have a MailChimp style email system. Perfect. Put it in. That's maybe $500 of tokens, maybe $400 of tokens. By that time, I'll probably have 5 or 6 different subscriptions to all models on Max, because I'll be building people's products, and it'll just rotate. It'll rotate. Okay, we hit the weekly or the whatever the session usage here. Let's move on to the other one. By that time, I'm actually cooking. You know, we went from a little pot to now we're doing a huge ladle, and now the town wants our pasta. While it's taking a leak, I thought, how am I going to be able to test all of the menu options, resizing, light and dark mode, No, I'm not doing it. We're gonna create an agentic automated browser option as the last step. And this will need to be 100 out of 100. This will be the last step when we are orchestrating builds, and it will be an automatic agentic browser for version 5 with as many waves needed to test, review, create, delete, edit any options to move between any menus, and create a report of what needs to be fixed, and or have a Fable model that it's working with to send it to worker agents who will then do the fixes automatically. It must pass 100 out of 100. Lots of news in the Boatsted feed. All right, so this guy needs to be on orbit. Whoop. Okay, good. Boatinstant.com/orbit. Like literally one of the things today, because my swim, bike, and run is not connected to Training Peaks, which you got to pay for, is not connected to Zwift, which you have to pay for. Strava's free, but Strava also has something you got to pay for. Everything is connected to an open source intervals.icu because Garmin does not allow a developer API get and pull, or whatever the heck it is, pull and push requests. So I got to use intervals.icu, which gathers in all of the data. And now I'm going to go to my Todd, which is the AI model that has access to that, and go, you've seen 1 month of working out. I have 2 months until my race. Do I have to do intervals? What does my Monday through Sunday look like? Where do I need to pull back, push forward? Where do I rejigger it? It's gonna have my heart rate, my watts, my speed, my average speed, everything. It has my strokes per minute, my each of the laps, everything. That's better, and it sounds bad because my coach liked my Instagram story, and I love her, and she is amazing. She is amazing, and she was there while I was beginning my alcoholism. And I had to let go of her because I couldn't afford her. But I'm going to go to that intervals.icu I'm going to go through AI to go to the intervals.icu to then say, what do I need to do differently? What do I need to do differently? I need to have the community as a, realizing the Japanese were always right. Oh, I got to go to X. Twitter!
来てんじゃないですか。迷ってんじゃないですか。生き生きさい。簡単ですよ。過去のことを思っちゃダメだよ。なんであんなことしたんだろう。怒りに変わってくるから。未来のことも思っちゃダメ。大丈夫かな。ああ、不安になってるでしょ。ならば一生懸命一つのところに命をかけ。そうだ。今ここを生きていけばみんな生き生きするぞ。
Dude, look at that head of hair. You can't buy that head of hair. That's not through peptides. That is pure living out what you just talked about. You literally are living it out. No stress. Don't think about the past. It's in the past. Stop stressing about it. Forgive them. Look at this guy. No grays in the hair. He's probably 36, 37. Might be younger. I don't know. I have no... look at this guy. Live on X. Day 71. Good for him. How many people are subscribed to him?
Can you tell Rocky, prompt Rocky, let's get this fixed. I want to be able to bundle this and send...
Wow. Going live on X. Huh. What if I went live on, well, actually, no, Facebook, I have too many friends. LinkedIn, definitely not. I'd probably go to X. Maybe even have a camera right here. It's Instagram. Instagram, I've got a bunch of yahoos over there that are following me. Let's see if this guy's done anything. All right, this guy has not done anything. Okay, this shipped. Wave 1. Wave 2, human in the loop review. Okay, sequence, what's happening? Okay, so this is the most important thing. I gotta learn myself. I gotta learn myself so I know how to prompt in the future. I came out with a video, whoever prompts better wins. At that time, I was totally wrong on prompting, but I was totally right in the title. Whoever prompts better wins, because you gotta be specific, you gotta make sure there's orchestration, different models. Kimmy K's, okay, anyway. Sentence, what's happening? A worker validator, Sonnet agents, building files, piecing it to the adversarial critic. Requiring a 98, built it out, shipped the pipeline. Sentence 2, what to learn from this conversation. The single highest leverage move was forcing an architectural decision before any code, routing each asset type to the tool actually built for it, and getting every generation behind a programmatic validator instead of trusting one general model. Sentence 3, how to prompt Fable. Okay, this is the most important thing. How to prompt Fable or any model like this in the future. Always specify the full chain. Okay, I'm not gonna know all of this. Exact triggers for the future prompting. Okay, you went way too deep into that. There's 2 questions after this. Number 1 is, was this actually committed to the main branch so I can actually see the results within the boatston.com/apps/ride? The second question is, when I'm actually prompting for the future, what are the key aspects of what needs to be said to make sure that the prompt, the library, the assets, and the creation within the environment are all working together, understanding each other, and there is no ambiguity. See, there you go, 51% in a weekly limit. Yeah, I saw Restream. I can do it from here. I think you have to upgrade your X account. I think you gotta pay for it. You gotta pay for things on X that I didn't know you had to pay for. Okay. Confirmed, observed this is session, just not claimed by a subagent. Get to main, okay, it committed it. A third commit, okay. Yes, this is really, you can go to right now and see the actual review page generated registry, the actual gallery. Still works unchanged. Wait a minute, did you just create another gallery? What the heck did you just do? Don't tell me you just created another gallery. Okay, we got a timeout right now. What was that? What to say to Fable? So the prompt library, let me just go and see if any part of the actual ride app was updated. If not, your boy's not gonna be happy. Your boy's not gonna be happy. Live ride. Let's go to start simulation. We're not connecting anything. Okay, so it has workouts. Holy gosh. So the only thing that I like about this is this honestly looks extremely close to Zwift, but it looks absolutely nothing like over 300 million free tokens with GBT Soul as an orchestrator doing all the work for free. Hold on, what? Workflow is Padre Brain Delivery. Audit, plan, implement, verify, repair, finalize. What? What is... That's brilliant. 62 million tokens. 21 million tokens, 103, 141. What? Yeah, look how long this was working for, 4 hours. That's insane. That's insane. Uh-oh. Who's blocked? Pocket dialed. That's an interesting setup. You wonder, I see so many of these screenshots, and you wonder what is in the background. You wonder what their background is like. Like, is it creating one-shots that you're excited about? But I got to go back to this one shot because this is just highly disappointing. Okay. We need to look into the actual screenshots of the Ride app. Very important that we look into that because I just went to the live simulation and boy, is it in need of the assets that were created. I have no idea why you created an asset generator or at least a public place for assets to be stored where anyone can access it. We also need to get on the same page when it comes to the prompt to asset generation to the assets being generated within the actual Three.js world in which they live. I am thoroughly unimpressed with the actual app that was created from the assets from this chat. And I'm gonna say, see screenshot. Just absolutely brutal. Wait, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Let's go to the, nope. Like, look at that. And then, oh, look at this. A little bit different. Nope, we're not connecting a clip. We're starting the simulation. We're all in a simulation. Okay, go. Let's go. Like, holy like, holy cow, dude. I gotta have my own heart-to-heart with Fable, Opus. Heck, I'll take a meeting with Haiku at this point and be like, hey, H, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Wave 1 is still running. Granted, that one guy ran for 4 hours, so we'll keep this guy continuously running in the background. I'm not going to disturb it. Okay, let's just go back to what you just talked about. Then we'll go to the news. Lots to talk about in the news. Lots to talk about in the news. By the way, can we get one like? You're right to be unimpressed, and I need to be precise about what actually happened rather than defend it. Looking at your screenshot, it's still running on the old, okay, because nothing has been generated, validated, or published into the world yet. What I built this session is the pipeline plumbing. Okay, so I guess I referenced that URL on anyone can yeah. Exactly. Anyone can access the assets. The prompting discipline to eliminate ambiguity. So it's prompt asset world. You're asking the right underlying question. Right now, there are 4 separate languages. Fable's prompt, the generator's output, the validator checks, and then the scene lookup. Okay. Right now, given the screenshot, the honest next step isn't more architecture. Yeah, obviously. And screenshot the results so you can actually see the loop. No, the next is not to think, and it is not to plan. It is not to play thumb wars or patty cake. It is to actually take the assets from the original URL that OpenAI did, or even the assets in which you created, and actually putting them into the world and putting them into action. We need to have that as the pipeline, that as the framework. We don't sit here and patty cake and plan all day. We sit here and we do and build and create. That's all we do. We don't think, we do. We don't ask, we do. What is the exact next step based on the orchestrator being told by the project manager, me, to do? Give it to me in one sentence on the exact waves and or versions that need to occur in the next hour, using only haiku and sonnet agents with a opus or fable harsh critic at the end judging it to make sure it's a 98 out of 100. To be honest, chats like that bother me. Like this guy on the left just got it. Just got it. I thought I was pretty straightforward. You know, a lot of the things that I need to build, desire to build, I'll go over the news, by the way, because we got to make sense of what is going on, especially the China-American relationship. You know, the China-American relationship is such a, should be the only topic of conversation right now. There you go. There you go. This is short-term news. My boy's trying to get relevant again. 46 sources from New York Times, Instagram, and on YouTube. And then another 14 with an op-ed. Where do you write that op-ed? The New York Times? There is so much competition going on right now within the AI world that if you are not in the news, if you are not making the news, then something's going wrong. Something's going wrong or nothing's happening at all. It's one or the other. It's one or the other. Because data centers, one's coming on for NVIDIA next year. You have a massive one that was just blocked. You have China that is actually not talking to anybody in the United States, potentially canceling the upcoming trip to the United States. So that might be Xi Jinping just literally said, "Not today, Junior," gives Iran missiles. Why are we in war? Why are we in war? Well, we got to make sure that the military-industrial complex, they get their money. We need to make sure that Raytheon gets their money. We got to make sure that the trillions of dollars that we are spending on that is what people should be up in arms about, when literally the next 10 to 15 years is the most pivotal, because most infrastructure is going to then be well over 100 years old. The roads, the pipes, electrical, the entire power grid, the security, the cybersecurity is going to be decades old. All government is going to be decades old when it comes to all of their safety and cybersecurity. And to be honest, I'll be honest right now. Are you ready for it? You ready for the hot take? The private sector is now superseding the public sector. Like, the private sector has always run the public sector. So the private is, major corporations have always run the public sector thousands of years. It's not just the United States, for thousands of years. You just had the same people doing the same things and running the government. Yes, okay, fantastic. But in today's world, the nerds are in charge, and the nerds used to be Bezos and Altman and no. Now we're talking about nerds that have access to AI that you don't even know about. that I don't even know about, that are not at company board meetings, that are not IPOing, that are not putting out quarterly results. Those nerds are the ones in charge, because now you're unleashing for $200, hell, for free, a Chinese model. Obviously, you can't download anything that's going to be of quality. You can't run that locally yet. Once you unleash that on the world, dude, anything is possible at that point. And the thing is, most people are going to be like, oh my gosh, the Dow is down. And then you could put it whatever here after this. Literally, if I could just put a block over this, the Dow drops 800 points because chip shortages, because of energy shortages, because of food shortages, because of, in other words, they have to input fear or scarcity. But when you don't have fear or scarcity, when you live in a world of abundance, ideas just flow. Ideas just flow. Ideas flow when you literally leave the live stream and you go to the bathroom, and an idea of, why would I have an agentic browser without it actually being a tester? Because you just shipped a $1,500 website with a back-end CRM that they own on their own Mac Studio, that they were paying $500 per month for, to one of the legacy companies. If I was at Wix, if I was at Squarespace, if I was at Beehive, if I was at MailChimp, if I was at any SaaS, Monday.com, To-Do List, Notion. The king, bro. The king never went anywhere. The king never went anywhere. What you're getting is not just, our boy is now back. Our boy is back. 3 hours later. Holy cow. He's been busy from the last time. All right. All right. Are we passing version 2? Are we passing version 2? Do you understand that? I'll give you a real life example. Yesterday, I blew through on Opus High, Opus 5 High, 2 $200 subscriptions in under 90 minutes. One of them almost did 30-something% of my weekly limit, because I went from medium to high. I looked at the chart of medium to high and what the token percentage is. And to be honest, I went into Fable and I just said, put Fable at medium on this left chat right here on the left screen. And I just said, don't ask me anything. You have complete approval. I don't want you to stop until you complete every wave within every version at a 98 out of 100. Then you move on. The future is not only that, but then a full shipment. And I'm just thinking this on the fly. A full shipment after we have an agentic browser. Let me go back to this. An agentic browser. So this is worse than what it was. Worse. I want in here to talk crap on each other, to be able to compete with each other, exit this world and enter another world. And where the heck am I? Get out of here. Okay. I forgot what I was about to say. I was about to shred some evidence too. Shred some evidence. Oh. It was my plan. Let's go to my plan. So I just have ideas. I have way too many ideas. I have 4 documents of ideas. This is how to build a game. This is how a wild orchestration setup. If I had unlimited tokens, unlimited agents, unlimited access to everything, what would you spin up? It obviously came up with Gemini, Kimi, GBT, Sonnet, Grok, DeepSeek, Qwen. Unlimited everything. What would you use? That's essentially creating that company, and you're updating and you're replacing models. But this is what I talk about. I came up with this literally in the bathroom. Is you have an agentic browser command like Perplexity Comet. Comet is their browser. Goes through the entire website, gives you a prompt about how to make it better, make it faster, it loads better, the code base is better, the interface is better, it's more responsive, the light and dark mode are great, the pill isn't good, whatever. Who's to say at the end of this, you get a 99 out of 100 on version 1, version 2, version 3, then you polish it, you test it, you connect it, you go through agentic browser automation throughout everything. It loops back in, calls in a Fable to then do its final touches, and then it automatically ships to the client with a bug and feature request that comes with it. At that point, you're now doing an eBay style auctioning. eBay style auction of development. Wow. Of apps, ideas, inspirations, and websites. Wow. Wow. I started this live stream. People are going to come here to just steal my ideas. I could care less. There's so much abundance. People are like, oh my gosh, yes, I got Charles' idea. I'm going to totally outdo him. You can't outdo the idea man. That's what it comes down to. I'm not the bearer of bad news, but you can't outdo the idea man. In other words, I came in here and I said, we're going to have I have not touched this left guy since we started hours ago. It's now 1:08 Eastern Standard Time. This guy on the left, all 5 can literally be its own window in our agentic machine, calling upon whatever it needs. Qwen, Kimi, OpenAI, the agentic automated visual of everything. It doesn't matter. I could care less. I'm completely agnostic to any models. I could care less about benchmarks. But what does it do? What does it do? Is Grok very good at finding out trends within the internet? Okay, let's use it. This person wants to put together a Reddit X social media trend website that then they sell that data. Cool. All right, we're building that website. But if you piece everything together, and I'm about to give you a major idea, you have the agentic who pulls on every single model, or theoretically can pull on any single model. It runs it through all of the waves on all of the versions. It goes through the agentic visual on a custom browser, emails the client. Who's to say I don't have 5 or 6 of those going at the same time? The left one is a guy who has 5 gyms in New York and wants to combine everything. The one in the middle is someone who is a real estate agent in Tulsa, Oklahoma, or Tucson, Arizona. She's got a major team. She makes $500,000. She wants a world in which everything is taken care of. That's what we're building. If you're now on Botenstein.com, that's Botenstein.com, you are now bidding on, who's to say the marketplace isn't public? Public marketplace. Public marketplace of ideas. And they bid on it. Do that right now. Build that out right now. Version 2, Wave 1 has cleared. Wave 2 is running. I haven't touched this thing at all. I haven't asked it. I haven't said anything. The actual money is in the planning. The money's in the planning. Boatston.com. We'll cross out harness. The eBay style auction of development. It's a public marketplace. And it is, and they bid on what I develop. And this is Boatston.com. This is how I actually write it down. Take that idea. In other words, you go to eBay and you bid on products, cars, headphones, whatever. What if you go on eBay and you bid on someone's project who wants to build something? What if someone wants to work with just me and have it vibe coded live? The left one is this, the middle one is this, the right one is... And they bid on my system with me, and I ship it daily. This one's getting $1,000, this one's $500, this one's $2,500, this one's $3,000. I'm just saying. You know, our boy Amir came in yesterday and started throwing down some nukes and saying IDEs, ADEs, everyone's building it. You're right, everyone is. There's also BMW, Ford, Tesla, Acura, which I don't even know is around anymore, Lexus, which I don't even know is around anymore, Mercedes. Everyone's a car. Why is the Chinese model in the UK the most successful by sales last month? Is it because it's better? Why are there's 32 teams all playing the same sport in the NFL? Why do we only have one champion? Well, we still have the playoffs. We still know everyone's name. I don't need to be the best. I don't need to be the best. I don't want to be the best. Because that means you are for the general public. That's not me. I'm controversial. I bring in a lot of different ideas that people disagree with because they're just in the 80%, 90% that I talked about before. I'll go over the news and then I'll leave it because I'm even though I'm in a mood right now. I'm in a mood. Obviously, Kevin Warsh. You think this guy's making decisions? Just like Donald, just like Rubio, just like Hegseth. They're all just the front face. They make them rich, do what we say. Perfect. Allegedly, my opinion. But it would be stupid if they raised rates. I understand they're talking about and thinking about the inflation. Do you know why inflation happened? It's because of spending. We had a bill, the inflationary bill spending. You created spending to bring down inflation, yet inflation is because of overspending and printing of dollars. I won't even say make it make sense. I'm beyond that. Now we got Sam Wong openly and Zucks openly talking about open weight. I'll throw this out too. I think they're in DC because, well, there's a lot of reasons. Obviously, there's a lot of tariffs that are being established on China and Mexico right now. Some of them 50%. And, well, I wouldn't go into politics, but I think they're in DC, allegedly, my opinion, about the open weight issue, because obviously NVIDIA has their open weight. They have nothing closed weight. They have obviously all of the, it's obvious why Jensen is in DC, because he's selling the hardware. And yes, he has some of the software, but he's not a closed weight. He's not making his money from closed weight, even though they're crazy 70%, I think, 70% profit margin, which is insane. If you're anywhere above 20%, you're really profitable. I think they're all lockstep in this is because this is the future. If you harness American models and or close out foreign models, you're now an island like Japan came and went in the 80s and 90s. That is an excellent example, by the way. We all talked about Sony. Sony Walkman, Sony headphones, Sony speakers, Sony. We all talked about Toyota. Everything was about Toyota. Everything was about the yen. Oh my gosh, Japan, we got to do something about Japan. We got to something about their cars. Talking about Lexus, it's all about Lexus. I'm forgetting the other one that used to be all over the roads. They're higher end models of Toyota. We got to do something about Japan. Japan is going to be taking over the electronics, everything. Panasonic. Where's Japan now? Their yen, their dollar right now, yen to USD, is in a free fall. So much so that they tried to do something, I think about a month ago, and did nothing. The government got involved, it did nothing. It actually made it worse. If you put us on an island, literally and figurative, like Japan in the 80s and 90s, the United States, to bounce back with all of our mindset going to international nonsense, it will take a while of private sector, small businesses, medium-sized businesses, and even the big boys, top 50, including the banks, to become patriotic. And patriotic, I don't mean wave the flag and scream USA at the next Olympics. I mean, they need to see the United States win because right now, China thinks long-term, and they've been thinking long-term since the 90s. The United States has only been thinking short-term. The next IPO, the next quarterly report, the next earnings call that they got to go on Squawk Box, on CNBC, they got to go to Fox Business, they got to talk to Kramer. They've only been thinking about that. Day trading, week trading, month trading, short-term gains. China's been only thinking about long-term gains. That's it. That's a rampage right there. Because obviously Morgan's a little bit different. Morgan, by the way, their headquarters I just walked by last Thursday is stunning. I haven't actually went to see it in person. It is stunning. It's easy to get to if you're commuting too, by the way. It stands out. It stands out. And it's got a major American flag right on the inside when you walk in. Major American flag. I walked by and it was at night. I almost took a photo. It looked beautiful. Whoever designed it, whoever was the architect, obviously the engineers involved, because the bottom part of it are insane. It's got this cantilever style coming out from the middle. We'll go to HQ NYC. Let's go to images. Let's see if they have it. They only have it under construction. Yeah. Well, no, that's a bad photo. Anyway, it's beautiful. Class AAAA. Morgan's a little bit different because Morgan got involved in XAI's running up, so they made money on the run up, and then they shorted it on the way down, allegedly, in my opinion. And then Elon got involved, and he got mad because everyone was shorting the stock, and now you're looking at a what are you at? It was at like 106 on a low. They're putting. And to be honest, if one of the big boys or even one of the large analysts or one of the PM portfolio managers comes out openly and says something, I'm always hesitant. Working at Oppenheimer Funds, a lot of it is PR. A lot of it is just make the investors happy. This thing has been running. The thing is, I need to understand this in a intellectual level so I understand the prompt to asset creation to asset library to pull that into the Three.js world. Finally, we'll go down to the last ones. I don't know why AWS was not in chip making 6 years ago. Like when Apple went and made their own silicon M1 chip, and then they put everything, their tablet, computers, and cell phones on their own chip, and they moved away from Intel, ironically enough, moving back into a relationship with Intel. How does AWS, who had pretty much all the data, so much so that they just spin off from Amazon and create their own company, how do they not? They have major data centers. How was that not discussions? For how much and how innovative Bezos was, that's still shocking to me. Yeah. I don't know, because you had to say this is the future. If you're running every single major company, GM, GE, all the banks, all the major top 50 on data centers, not even AI at that time, just data centers, just keeping everybody's data safe, secure, running fast, easy to pull up, easy to... How do you not create your own chip at that point? I don't understand, and here you go. Amazon prepares to deploy $200 billion in capital expenditures. I'm telling you right now, anyone that is not bullish about AI, the future on spending, these guys are unleashing spending. It came out, is it Microsoft? No, it was Alphabet. Alphabet this week I talked about. They have in expenditures, in other words, they have to spend 900, I think it's like 900 and something billion dollars, almost $1 trillion in contracted spending. In other words, not they think analysts are talking about. This is, they're in contracts to spend almost $1 trillion. And now you have Amazon. You know who's going to be making a lot of money? Concrete, steel, wiring, cable, fiber, copper, earth materials. These are wild amounts of numbers. This is also a weird story to end on, but over 1,000 people at OpenAI signed something that says we need to slow down. So those people know something that, okay, 1,100. 1,100. They know something we don't know. They have access to models we don't know. And I'll leave it on this. In that one excellent Sam Altman, there's another one that I want to view as well. In that very excellent Sam Altman interview, he says that the next frontier, and he said it with a smile and everything else, he knows what the next frontier is. He goes, it's bigger than you would ever think. So you're telling me for 50 minutes you talked about your entire story, what's going on right now, how AI is affecting people, their businesses, their money, their impact, energy, cost, efficiency, him as a manager, him as a CEO, some of the relationships that went sour. You talked about all of that for 50 minutes, and then you get to the juicy part of saying that there's something that he knows about that is coming down the line that's bigger than what he's already created. What is that, Sam? Sam, what is that? What is that? What do 34 out of 100? See, there you go. I'm fine with that. You just keep on looping till we get it up to 98. What does Sam know that, okay, oh no, it's not this. His remarks came alongside an open letter signed by 1,000 employees. So what do these people know? Including chief scientist and Anthropic co-founder. Those are obviously in development, blah, blah, blah. I'll leave it on this because I got to pop out. I'm hungry. I got to find out if my freaking thing got delivered. I got a message from somebody. Actually, Amazon package. And I also have to find out how many shares. Yeah. So I'm going to let this guy run on the left. The issue is one-fold. It's not even two-fold, it's one-fold. If I close my laptop, everything stops. Everything stops. I have no idea what to do. Because you can see right here that Hetzner is being employed right now. And everything I want to build is hindering on this ADE. Everything. The App Store, the chats, the custom browser, the perpetual memory, the non-work trees. Yesterday I scrapped everything. Like this right here, like I want to, you know what? Let's move this down. This is on Tuesday. We got to move this down. And I want to look into the Sims game style. That's going to go into beta. That's going to go into beta. Build a game. I got to also look into this, so we'll move this up to Tuesday. The wild apps and prompts, so that's the prompts library. I got to look into the orbit.build. Someone already did something like that, but this is essentially what we did. And we could change this to 98. That's a very good question about Singularity. So I was in personal development for, I guess I'm still in it, but when you spend as much as I did, when you have as many coaches as I did, their Singularity was health and longevity. And then if you're talking about Singularity, are you going with Ray Kurzweil, who recently was on Moonshot's podcast, probably about, I don't know, a month ago? And I got my thoughts on Ray. Probably not the most popular. But what is AGI? What is Singularity? You know, recursive self-improvement, if that is a thing, then Alex from Moonshot's podcast, who's a brilliant MIT guy who literally said we went into it based on that definition in 2020. I personally think it is a further along where you essentially say there's a holy crap moment, and to be honest, who's to say these guys who signed this letter already know about it, or the mythos already know about it. For you to be so shocked at a model that you go to the White House, whether it's accurate or not, whether it's marketing or not, I have no idea. By the way, I listened to that podcast he said that in. It was in the, whatever the heck it's called. I could look into my, and now I can see that the camera's overheating on the left side. So we'll delete that. He said it in such passing that I think he believes it on either where he can go, already has, but was not released to the public. I think that's the only two options. It's not what we have as the public. And to be honest, I think they got something where if given to anybody, you can go anywhere with it. You give anything to anyone that could be used to cut meat, a knife, a car, you give anything to anybody. People are going to use it for good or bad. And the problem is you have somebody who does something stupid and then restricts everyone else. We are in an environment of safety. And what does that mean? That means we don't look for the general good and the general positivity of anything. We look for the exceptional stupid. And we base everything off of the exceptional stupid. I'll bring it up an example, but I won't bring it up specifically. Something happened within the last 2 months that there was a race that was supposed to be ran. And because it was too hot in Europe, they didn't cancel the whole race, but they said if they ran the whole race, people might get heat exhaustion and go to the hospital. Okay? If 3,000 people signed up and 3 people go to the hospital, in the race organizer's mind, that's too many. Except the problem is that 2,997 were fine. They're basing rules and regulations and decisions in DC off of the small minority of numbskulls who ruin it for everybody. So, no, I don't think we're in singularity right now. I always thought singularity, and there was a longevity to this, was that you're in a singularity, a health singularity, where you're aging as fast as you can be kept alive. I don't think that's possible. They all talk about telomeres, and that telomeres are essentially like shoelaces, and if it unravels too much, then you die. But if you keep healthy telomeres through, I won't talk about what they talk about, but they talk about ways to keep your telomeres tight and you don't age. I don't think that's possible because you're going against creation. That's impossible. It's just, we have a finite amount of time. We will never get to singularity to health. But then we also have a dozen ideas about what singularity or AGI is. And some people say we're in it. And then on the Moonshots podcast, pretty much every guest has said, no, we're not in it. I think Sam has seen models and the behind the curtains. That's why he said that. Not what we have, clearly. What we have is probably a quarter of what could be released right now. And that's why I also think that 1,100 people at a company signed this. Granted, Meta employees, by the way, I'll just say Asia real quick. I'll just go into Asia real quick. Is that it doesn't matter about South Korea, Japan. South Korea obviously is brilliant. Hong Kong, talking about, even smaller countries, Philippines, Thailand. I don't know where they go from here. Because South Korea has unbelievable technology. They have Hyundai. Seoul is an unbelievable city. They are brilliant. They produce beauty and longevity. I just don't know where they go from here based on their population, their ability to be entrepreneurs, and to think outside the box. That's the way that I look at it. You can say whatever about America. We are renegades. We are renegades. We like to break things. We like to be mean. Sometimes we like to say, why not? Why not do this? I don't understand why we can't do this. And there isn't a tall poppy syndrome that Scandinavia has hardcore, Australia has hardcore, some parts of the western part of Europe has 100%. They don't like when people succeed or you stand out. In America, we revel in that. We elevate them. We give them platforms and shows and fame. That's not like the rest of the world. So, yeah, I think it's going to be, the thing is with China, I'll leave it on this because I am starving. And to be honest, I'm getting to a point where I need to hydrate and I got to get some electrolytes and I got to do food. And maybe some sugar to get my sugar back up. I'll leave it on this. The Chinese government is brilliant. The issue that the Chinese government has is that they have and this is not based on personal experience, this is based on people that have gone there that are in the Moonshots podcast, and some guy who has talked about it. They have 4 major hubs, and then the rest of China is pretty much just farmland. The Chinese government is brilliant. They're very forward-thinking. They're very patriotic. The people of China, unfortunately, are being hindered. In America, it's the opposite. The people in America love the country. They want the best for the country. The government of the United States or the higher-ups of the United States government could care less about us. It's kind of the opposite. Chinese government wants the best for China. The United States government could care less about, and obviously I'm speaking in generalities. In the Chinese government, they want to get China rich. The United States government, they want to get the United States senators, governors, and everyone else that's within the government rich. And they could care less about us. So it's like this weird differentiation thinking. We have rules and regulations, morals, ethics, and values around stealing. Copyright, China does not have that. They could care less. They just take it, rip off, and sell it. So it's a very weird relationship that we have with China. And to be honest, if they're not coming to the United States and they are not going to meet if Xi Jinping is not coming to the United States and he poo-poos the United States, Donald in the first term would have done something differently than he's doing in the second term. And to be honest, even if you have, say, J.D. Vance or you have Gavin Newsom, pick either side of the wing. This is a multi-decade wellspring. So anyone that you see publicly right now, we have to just move the wellspring up. It's kind of like it's kind of like a lava flow. That's the best way to say it. You go to Kona, which is where they do the Ironman World Championships, and you have the old lava that's been sitting there for decades, and it's just black, and it's dry, and it's hot. There's nothing that has been on it. And then you kind of go further away from the lava, and it's even older, but you see that there's plants growing on it, and there's a little bit of green. That's essentially what this lava flow of the wellspring that's happening in the United States. We got to get the old guard out because the new guard is, surprising to me, the top 500 companies on the S&P. I thought I would never say that. I thought I would never see the time that they're all lock in step signing the same documents. Maybe I'm wrong about their intentions. Documents about having Chinese open models just continuously open. I don't know. I could be totally off on their intentions, and I have no idea, and I could change my mind tomorrow, but it's very, very interesting. It's very interesting. The government in the United States, thankfully, on the federal level, potentially on the state level, is losing to the businesses, dare I say even entrepreneurs. They're now finally succumbing, not in closed-end deals and back-end door deals, but in actual open news cycles publicly what is going on. Before it's a closed door and then you're like, oh, okay, Procter & Gamble got the deal, or Raytheon got the deal, or, you know, Northrop Grumman got the deal, whatever. They got the deal and now they're producing, even though it was an open contract and it was an open bid, it's all closed doors. Now we're in an AI world. Everything's got to be open sourced. Everything's got to be open. We got to decentralize. We got to empower the people. I think it's scaring a bunch of people right now, because you're bringing a lot of people together that would normally not be brought together, and you got me breaking away from people that I would normally be agreeing with. So it's very interesting. But anyway, like, share, subscribe to the video. I'm exhausted. I don't even know how long I've been going live for. Almost 3 hours. Today was a big one. This left one, we're gonna just never touch it. The middle one is about building out an environment. These are the two biggest chats that is going on. Both of them are in complete orchestration looping. The one on the left is quiet, headless. I could care less. Don't even talk to me until you're done. The one in the middle, headed, continuously updating me. The issue is that I don't know what it's building, and I'm less confident about the one in the middle because I know what it already built before, and it was slop. And it was worse than slop. It actually made slop even sloppier. And I don't even know if I'm burning tokens, but I need to understand. And I'll do this off screen because it's more of a brain train and brainstorming, where I have to understand if I want to build. So the full objective is I want to build a 3JS environment, multiplayer game or world in which multiplayers, multi-people, multi-users can go throughout the world. How do I reverse engineer that from that world to from the world, from assets, from a prompt? So it goes prompt, assets, world. I need to understand that. That's my next frontier. And I'll write that down actually. It is prompt to assets and assets library to the world game environment. There you go. This is today's notes. All right, boys and girls. Today was rampage on what the world is coming to and how to prepare for it. You gotta be positive. Gotta be positive. Drone style top down, but road only in far corner. Let me set player position, speed further along to be nearer to the road. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, I got a little bullish now. And now they're doing a Road Zoom 3 PNG. Drone style top down. Wow. Wow. I wonder if this needs, let's do bullet points. How do we, I don't like the word do we need or how can we, it's actually how can we incorporate eyeballs? So it's like live creating. It's cursor live creating. Cursor live coding, designing, creating. If it doesn't exist, can we build it? If not exist, can, or how do we build it? Not can we, how can we build it. Man, this week has been one of the best weeks. Workout's been great. Vibe coding, understandably, it's going to be a hockey stick where nothing. Okay, world is happening, ride is happening, presentation is happening, automation's happening, ADE comes online. Now we have agentic through any models. Heck, we can even bring in our open code router, or open router API key. So now we literally can have anything. Let's just hope it's not bought out by Stripe. Because once you get the big dogs involved, you know that everything's getting stranglehold. We're going to squeeze profits. We're going to increase token prices. We're going to make sure that we're making more money. Slows down. You got to put on our servers. It's just, no. Anyway, all right, we'll be live tomorrow. I'll be after a interval bike workout. And hopefully my camera will have a battery that actually works and it doesn't overheat. Cheerio, see you tomorrow, 10:30, 10:45 Eastern Standard Time. Subscribe to the video, like the video,